And let's go now to Congressman Jake Auchincloss. He is a Democrat from Massachusetts. Congressman, thank you for the time today. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
A lot of ground we want to cover here, but let's start where Arlette finished. This meeting, this high stakes meeting with President Biden and Xi Jinping. You're on the Select Committee on China. What do you hope comes out of Wednesday's meeting between the two leaders?
Most important and realistic would be military to military contact to reduce the likelihood of unintentional escalation. South China Sea, Taiwan Strait, there are lots of friction points between the PRC and the United States in the Indo-Pacific, and an unintentional escalation that leads to a shooting war would be a catastrophe and a preventable one. And if both leaders could walk out of this meeting and establish that floor of basic international governance, that would be a win for really just international peace.
hmm Do you see any deliverables coming out of any areas of economic interest? I mean, we think about the Commerce Secretary who has been to China, the Treasury Secretary who has been to China. We heard Joe Biden yesterday talk about the semiconductor issue. I mean, do you see any areas where we might see some cooperation on economic issues?
Top of the list would be intellectual property and AI. Those two issues are where uh, there is intense negotiation between both countries right now. The PRC has a terrible track record on undermining intellectual property with its trading partners, with its investing partners, and Secretary Yellen, Secretary Raimondo have made clear that it's unacceptable. And better enforcement of IP would be an important step forward in economic cooperation, an important way to put a floor underneath the relationship. And then AI as well. Huge concerns around civil military fusion in the use of AI. The United States is ahead of China in AI, but by months, not by years. And guardrails on its military applications in the PRC would be important.
Let me ask how concerned you are about this new reporting about these diplomatic warnings about how the U.S. is being received because of its support of Israel, and also just, I mean, we know that China, we know that Russia have aligned themselves with the Palestinian issue on this. How concerned are you about that?
If Israel had allowed the Arab streets opinion to determine its strategy, it would have been destroyed in 1947, in 1967, in 1973. Israel needs to defend its own security and it needs to pursue its priorities. Number one, rescuing the hostages. There's a 4-year-old girl in those Gazan tunnels who watched her parents killed and has now spent the last month underground in conditions unimaginable. Number two, they got to destroy Hamas. Hamas, which butchered babies on October 7th and has since said they want to repeat the attacks of October 7th. So when these Arab countries are calling for an immediate ceasefire, what they're really saying is Israel, stop trying to destroy Hamas. Hamas, continue doing what you've done for more than a decade, which is try to create a permanent state of war with the Jewish state. And then finally, Israel needs to help architect a just post-war governance for Gaza, because that's what the Palestinian people deserve, and that's what Israel needs for its own security. Israel needs to pursue those three priorities aggressively and within the law of armed conflict.
Mm. Do the American taxpayers deserve a transparent accounting of where American money has gone? I mean, the U.S. has already provided billions of military assistance to Israel before the start of the war. We know Congress is poised to send billions more. Do American taxpayers deserve a transparent accounting of where the money has gone, is going, and how it's being used in this conflict?
Yes, and they've gotten that. American taxpayers gotten that, for example, with the $3.5 billion that the United States sends to Israel annually. The most important outcome of that aid has been Iron Dome, which has saved countless Israeli and Palestinian lives, not just in this conflict, but in previous ones. And it's also appropriate for the United States and other Israeli allies to be putting pressure on a plan for governance in Gaza. And to the extent that uh, Netanyahu's cabinet is creating tensions and undermining stability in the West Bank, that in turn makes it harder to have just post war governance in Gaza. These are all legitimate issues to be debating and to be pressuring Israel on. What's not helpful is to be trying to tie Israel's hands in terms of calling for unilateral ceasefires that would open it up to attacks by Hamas and leave those hostages underground.
Sir, let me ask, because tomorrow is Veterans Day. You served as a U.S. Marines. Thank you for your service, by the way. You told my colleague, Frederica Whitfield, that if Leader McConnell could not bring Senator Tuberville, who we all know, of course, he has this military blockade because of his concerns about the DOD's reproductive policy, but you told my colleague that if Senator McConnell couldn't bring Tuberville into line by tomorrow, that Senate Democrats should take radical action to protect national security. I mean, it's tomorrow. What would you like to see happen now?
Suspend the rule that allows an individual senator to block those promotions and pass them all en bloc, and then form a working group to consider whether any individual senator should be able to put a hold on military promotions, considering that it's now been abused to the detriment of our national security. So Senator Tuberville has embarrassed the Senate. He has embarrassed himself. But now he's undermining American national security, and now it becomes an issue that needs to be resolved.
Congressman Auchincloss, thank you for the time today.
Good to be with you.